Well, welcome back. For those of you who actually watched the first video, kudos to you. I know that it was kind of rambling, it wasn't terribly impressive, and we didn't really do anything. So in this video, we're going to actually start turning wrenches and start pulling things off the boat. First start is going to be the engine. So we've got to get that out in order to do the floors, and then we'll inspect the stringers and whatever else. But in this one, we're going to be disconnecting all of our hoses and wires and the motor mounts and everything like that. We're going to go through using that gantry that I talked incessantly about in the first video. Yeah, it's a little excessive. I'm very sorry. I was pretty pumped about it at that point. But yeah, so we're going to use that, show some of my faults, so show the eventual success. And then, yeah, I'm just going to kind of talk you through it. So my name is Austin. And this is Project Aqua Wallet.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Lazy man. When I was growing up, I had a lot of dreams. My mama told me, son, you could be anything, long as you spread your wings. I know one day you'll be great. Just wait, soon you'll aim up at the sky and I'll watch it float away. But now that I am older, I'll admit that I am over all the stress and shit.
All right, so here we are. We are about to start taking apart the engine. So like I said, I did a little montage of everything that we did. I sped it up so we don't have to look at it all in real time. And here we go. So looking at this, we've got a bunch of different cables, a bunch of different hoses that we need to be pulling off of this engine. This is an inboard engine versus an inboard-outboard or an outboard. So a little bit of differences there. I know a lot of rebuild videos that I've seen and a lot that I gone off of are for outboard engines with a transom and all of that kind of stuff. This one has a bit of different mounting to the actual to the stringers, and so we'll go into that as we get to the stringers and whatnot. But I think it's kind of interesting just to see all of the different things that an inboard has versus an outboard versus an inboard outboard. So yeah, so the exhaust hoses that we had to take off the manifold, they were stuck on there pretty well. You can see that in the beginning of the videos. Now we're going through and doing the throttle cable. As much as anything, we have all the wires from the battery and to the bilge pump and to the starter and all of that kind of stuff. So it was kind of helpful for me to go through and just like look at everything. And I made sure to be labeling things, as you can see Kelly doing sometimes. That way. So now we're moving on. Once we have everything disconnected, this was my first attempt with the rope pulley. Not great. I did, if you watch it, I did get the engine to come up out of the motor stands. So I tried to get Kelly to center it, and eventually just gave up because I could lift it up, but I couldn't actually get it out. So gave up on the rope pulley. That's fine. It was not a big deal. I'll still use it for something in the garage. But we went out and I bought a strap puller. It's beautiful. Home Depot is, 20, 25 bucks, something like that. But we got that and hooked it up in the same spot, put one on the shackle, and then one on my crossbar there, so that we can just get a standard pull straight up, and it actually has a ratchet so that it can hold it up, which was where we were running into issues with the rope pulley. Cool. So here we are. This is the first attempts. And like I said, I'm trying to watch the hoses and the cabling and stuff like that in order to make sure that everything's coming up straight. But it came right up. I was pretty excited. It was a lot of fun to kind of finally see it up and out of the boat. We are pulling we got the boat or the engine up high enough. I checked all the clearances and whatnot. I've got Kelly in the boat moving the tower as we move out of the garage. I figured taking out the garage door would not be a good idea. Much slower than that in reality. The sped up version is pretty quick. And then yeah, so this ratchet was just working it in reverse. There's a little lever on the side to be able to bring it down. So it was a bit slow. I also didn't really think about the fact that the boat would not be there anymore. And so yeah, I was standing on a stool for a bit in order to do this, which was not terribly intelligent. And then I've got Kelly hanging onto the strap there because I also needed to get it lower than where we were originally in the boat. So that was also not great. But as you can see, I'm just barely moving it and it's sliding down. I didn't position the camera well enough, but moving the dolly around to make sure that it lands in the center where I wanted it to be. Speaking of which, here is the motor on it. So I already had all the mounts out. I needed to replace the freeze plugs or core plugs or Welsh plugs. I was corrected on the iBoats forum. They are not freeze plugs. They are initially during the casting process of the block. So they make a core out of sand or whatnot, and they put these holes in order to help drain the sand after the casting process. So interesting. I had just always referred to them as freeze plugs, so they are core or Welsh plugs, and I will try to do a better job of that in the future. But yeah, so we did that. We got that out. I did actually build the frame to mimic my stringers, so the eventual distance of the stringers in the boat I matched on little dolly that I built there. So it got out, it's sitting there in the garage, and we'll go back and I'll do a full video just on my engine analysis and looking into it. And some of that was while it was still in the boat, but it doesn't really make sense for me to try and include that in this video. I'm just going to put all the engine stuff together, so you'll see it at different phases throughout it. But that's it for this. We got the engine out. And we will see you on the next video log.